what a concept this was.
Yes.
This was deemed as one of the worst videos ever made by Paul Heyman, and he said it's so bad he wouldn't air it. So it was never on our show. He told me and several others the only redeeming thing was me dancing around.
Okay.
That was the only thing he liked. He said it was atrocious, abysmal, and the shits.
All right. Well, that's quite the
endorsement.
The endorsement by the owner of the company. That's pretty good when that's how he feels.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we talked about the CD before. You know, we've talked about that release. It was a big deal for you guys to have a mainstream release like that.
Yeah, it was.
But what I think most fans didn't realize going into it is when ECW got their CD, I don't think as a fan we knew it was going to be cover versions of all these great songs that we had heard, you know, in the arena.
Well, we didn't have the rights to anything.
Right.
So,
but I don't think we knew that, you know, we knew Pantera. We didn't know Kilgore. We did, you know, we liked the fact that we got the This Is Extreme, the Sabu. Like, we got those songs that we had heard in the arenas, but then we tuned in for Enter Sandman and we get a different version.
Yeah, because the ones that you heard in the arena that were actually on there were Harry Slash and the Slash Tones.
Right.
Harry and Paul were like best buds at that point, so we were allowed to use his content. But things like, you know, Walk and Enter Sandman by Metallica, we didn't have the rights to that stuff, you know. To this day, I still don't know how we used original music on our show. Like, we got away with it for years and years and years. I do remember that day we were up at, I think it was the Elks Lodge in Queens, where this was all taped. And we were there all day. And I remember all the boys, we sat in the stands and we watched the band, because you'll see in the video, they shot a lot of the footage inside the ring.
Right.
And we watched them do their thing, and it took forever.
Really?
And we were all like, oh. Like, you know, because usually before a show, like, the boys like to go over some spots. You want to get in the ring, you want to do some moves and stuff. And we couldn't do anything because they just kept doing their thing. And Elks Lodge had that big stage, and it looked like there was some kind of it reminded me like a sunrise or something, but it was that beautiful stage that they had, and they performed on the stage, they performed in the ring, and then in the back we had like a curtain set up, and that's where the wrestlers, we did our lip singing. And I just remember they were like, okay, you have to do it. And first of all, I didn't really know the song.
Right.
And so I walked there where the stuff was set up, and I watched like a couple other people because they kept redoing the song over and over. And I said, well, what am I supposed to sing? And they told me, so I made sure I knew those lyrics.
Right.
You know, and it wasn't that difficult, but I said, what do you want me to do? And they're like, just dance sexy. And I was like, oh God, like I felt like a tool. It was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing because you had all these lights on, and then you had about 20 people standing around. They're trying to film you. And I remember Dreamer saying, I'm not doing it. He's not in it. He's in the fight sequence scenes, the wrestling part,
but not the lip syncing.
He wouldn't do the lip. He refused. And I was just like, well, I'll try. And I don't know, something just came over me, and I just started dancing. And they were like, and I just remember the one guy go, yeah, more. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so embarrassed right now. But Paul hated the video.
Yeah.
Hated it. Yeah.
So with the album itself, though, do you feel at that point that that's like all right, we are on the rise because we're starting to get these outside? Was this a big deal for not just the music video, but the album itself for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, anything that we were doing outside of just performing, you know, doing shows, you know, we thought it was so cool. Like doing the video games, doing these album. We went to the album release party. Like there were things that were happening that we really thought, hey, man, we're getting mainstream.
Right.
You know, like this, we're doing all these different things, and people are really starting to notice us, and we must be over if they want like a CD of music. or a video game or whatever we were doing at the time. You know what I mean? So we thought it was a big deal. Now that I look back, it really wasn't that great, but at that time, it was something special for us. So, you know.
Yeah. Now I've said it before. I had my grandmother buy this CD for me back in the old music store in Red Bank, New Jersey. My little grandmother going to buy this album with the Sandman draped in barbed wire and Francine on the back cover.